All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to walk us through a real quick method of how to grow some food really fast. So most of the time when we do gardening, A, we do it outside, and B, it can take several months to get any sort of food that we want to eat. But today we're going to talk about how to grow something called microgreens. So microgreens are really just seeds of vegetables that we would normally eat, but instead of eating, and for example today we're going to use radish, so instead of eating the root of the radish, what we're going to do is just sprout the seeds until they start to grow, and then once they're a couple inches high, then we cut them off and just eat them like greens instead of like roots. Now I said I'm going to use radishes for this, but you could really use just about anything. Anything that has a stem or a leaf that we eat. So things like kale, broccoli, peas, sunflowers are really popular. Even things that you wouldn't normally think of, like carrots and turnips, we can do with this. So the first step, you want to get some sort of container. Now you want sort of a wider, shallower container. And I'm using this just heart-shaped pie pan. You could use any old pie pan. You could use even an old plastic flat that you would use for starting seeds. Once you have that, you're going to want to fill it up with a little bit of potting soil. That's what I got right here. And this doesn't have to be any sort of fancy potting mix or garden soil or compost, because this whole process takes about 2 weeks. And so the seeds don't even really have time to start taking up nutrients from the soil or growing medium that they're in. All of the nutrition and energy in those little seedlings is going to come right from the seed. So I'm going to put a little bit more potting mix in there just to kind of top it off. Go ahead and level that out in whatever sort of container you use. And I have a big old bag of radish microgreen seeds here. But for most people, any old packet of seeds will work. If you got an old packet of kale seeds laying around, that would be perfect for an activity like this. So once you get your soil all nice and leveled out, as you can see, just like that, then you can add the seeds. We're going to open up our bag of radish seeds here, and we're going to want to put these on pretty thick, right? Normally with plants, they're going to need a lot of space to grow. Has a little bit of that elbow room, you know. But with microgreens, you want to really pack them in densely. That's going to help you get the most microgreens out of the deal. There's a few spots where I put it a little bit thick. I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit like this. I'll pick up the camera and show you kind of what whatever you're using to grow should look like. Yeah, so you can see that those are way, way thicker than we would plant them if we were actually growing radishes. And the very last step is going to be to water. So you can see I've got a spray bottle here. You don't want to use a hose or even a watering can, because that spray is going to be too powerful. It's going to move your seeds around and make it a lot harder. So really you just kind of want to spray until your whole thing is nice and damp. And I'm not going to do the whole thing right now because it would take a little bit longer than I want to sit here spraying on camera. But you kind of get the idea. You're just going to spray it until it's wet to the touch. And then you're going to want to keep spraying it a little bit each day so that it doesn't dry out. And in about 2 weeks, you're going to have some awesome microgreens that you can eat right from your house. Now, I don't have a finished example to show you. But if you go to our Facebook page, you can see I grew some microgreens in this exact same tray. So you can pop on our Facebook page and go to our photos, and you'll see a picture of me smiling with a big old heart of microgreens. Well, thanks for joining us today, everybody. We will be back next week with some more fun activities for you. Hope everybody enjoys their weekend.